Wait, a remake
Uh,
doesn't look good?
Well,
Color me shocked.
it looks worse than the Roadhouse remake that I just watched. But yeah.
Whoa, no.
I'll tell you what.
No.
Actually, shall we talk about Roadhouse? We don't have that
Did
as a
you
topic.
watch
But
it?
shall
Did
we
anybody
talk
else
about
watch it?
that? I've watched it.
Because I watched the original too. I mean, I've seen it a million times, but I watched it right after the remake
Okay.
just to wash
Well,
that shit out of my
let's talk
mouth.
about it because I haven't reviewed it either. I just sat down and watched it just because it was on, and I was like, I might as well. You obviously clearly hated it, so
Well, it's not so much
tell
that
me
I
more.
hated it. I hate that it's called Roadhouse. Had it been something like The Cooler and
Or
very
how
similar in its
how about
own thing,
Florida Man?
something like that. Yeah, it's just like, it's so different from Roadhouse, yet it just has kind of the very similar plot to where you're just like, why didn't they just do their own thing? Especially that third act, it goes completely way off from where the original does. And it just, to me, why even use the name Dalton if your character is going to be the complete opposite of what Dalton was? Because that's kind of the gimmick of what Dalton is he's a Zen cooler who actually has a psychology degree or whatever. Like, he's the type of guy you could never imagine would get in a fight, right? Like, that's the whole point. And this guy, they treat him like he's just a fuse just waiting to be lit. And to me, that goes against the character. Yeah.
If he loses control or something like
Yeah.
that, he's afraid of that.
And it was some really lame dialogue and stuff here and there, but yeah. But anyway, okay, what was your feelings overall on it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, it was entertaining enough. Like, it's not good as a remake. As a standalone film, it's entertaining enough. It's certainly, if you've got Amazon Prime, and I said this on my Sunday stream, I said, if you've got Amazon Prime, it's worth a punt, right? It's certainly worth a punt if you've got Amazon Prime, because it's entertaining enough. It's absolutely, like, this would have bombed in theaters, I think. And it's it's entertaining, right? It does the most basic thing a movie needs to do, is be at least entertaining. That doesn't mean it's good, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, but it does mean at the very least it has some entertainment value. And look, like, it's not that they have some like awful CGI. Did you spot all the weird CGI, like the CGI?
Yes, like they're doing like something with yes, you're 100% right.
It was so bizarre,
and it's so they could have things connect, I guess. And I guess Script Doctor had said that they'd use CGI.
It was very evident, and the car was CGI when he tries to get rammed off the road. But it wasn't, it wasn't particularly great. I wouldn't rush out to go watch it. But if you've got Amazon Prime and you're bored, maybe you're a few beers in, you probably have a really good time with it. I will say this: Conor McGregor, what a penis! What an absolute!
Oh God, he is hard to watch. He's
insufferable.
Yeah,
he's legitimately insufferable. It was absolutely atrocious. Yeah, real bad. Real bad, actually. Not good.
And I mean, not to be any kind of spoilerific, but they completely eliminate the Sam Elliott character. Not even in the movie.
Yeah.
They gender and race swap the bar owner, but big deal. And then it gets such a cliche kind of lead up, to the ending. And again, I'm not getting into spoilers, not that there's much to spoil, but like,
there's nothing to spoil in this film.
No, but like the original film just kind of has, I mean, actually, there is kind of a loose, I'm sure it was inspired loosely by, I can't remember the guy's name, but there was this bully in this town who ran this town like a mafia. And the whole town ended up killing him. And nobody sat any time for it because nobody would say who would pull the trigger. And I think that's partially where some of the inspiration came from for the main character. Like all that's kind of tossed out the window with this new version. Like it's, it's kind of just basic bitch villain shit, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, again, it's nothing you can write home about, but it reminded me of the Child's Play remake, where it's like this could be something more interesting if it wasn't trying to be Child's Play, and that's where Megan comes in. It's like Megan did that, right, and it succeeded. Yeah. Like I said, if you'd have made a show or a movie with Gyllenhaal called The Cooler, where that's just his job, where he goes around and he plays the cooler, and I mean that's interesting enough. You don't need all the same things, like the same beats and stuff.
Yeah,
Like that's the other thing
I
too.
agree
Yeah.
with that, and that's such a great analogy. The Child's Play one. That's such a great analogy. Completely agree. All right, mini review of Roadhouse done.